everybody on YouTube. Hello, Bella, and I'm joined with Tiffanee, and we are here to talk about our weight loss journeys. And specifically, Tiffanee has been on Tirzepatide, which is Manjaro, the brand name, and she is here to tell us about her journey. We're going to get into her good news from today. This is very, very, very good news, big news.
Big news, yes. Hello, everybody on YouTube. I am not usually on YouTube, and so I am so excited to be here. One, I want to thank you for having me as well. When I talked about it, when you said something about like being on there, I was like, well, let me see, let me look, maybe I should, and so I'm definitely excited to be here. But I have been on my journey since November of 2022, and now, y'all, I am down 101 pounds. Look, I was like, let me go ahead and add the one for today. I was like, what is really happening right now? Like, I can't even fathom being down 100 pounds. I just can't. Like, it's literally unreal. I mean, especially like, I think back to November of 2022, and I'm just like, there's no way that was not even in my brain. It just wasn't at all.
Yeah, I mean, when you start any diet or any medicine, you're like, I just hope I can get a little bit better than what I currently am, and you don't realize how far that you can actually go with it.
It's true. It's true. And if it's even gonna work. Like, I didn't even really for a while think that this was going to be it. Like, we always think that. We always think that, you know what? This is gonna be the one. This is
Yeah,
gonna do it. This is
yeah,
going to get me to where I want to be. This is going to get me in the best shape of my life. This is going to get me in the most healthiest body that I ever been in. And sometimes it just isn't. And so we have to really figure out, what is that? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
yeah. I'm just curious, like, how did you get started? Like, what made you like think about GLP-1? Was it a doctor? Was it the internet? Was it just everything going on?
That's a great question. So when I first started, like, so in November, I was in a space of, it was just kind of diet and exercise. I was going for diet and exercise. I was just trying to focus on, I had tried everything. I had tried Weight Watchers. I've been on keto. I've been on everything under the sun that we can think of. I even did the food, like the Nutrisystem. I did that for a long time. And every time my husband would open up the pantry, he'd be like, is there more food in here? And I'm like, yeah. This is the next month. But, that just wasn't it either. And so I was doing that, and I was going to a weight loss clinic. So I was going to the clinic, and I was getting the B12 injections. And so then in June of last year is when they said, hey, we have like this new thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look, new thing on the block. They're trying to tell everybody
Yeah,
about it. And so they
yeah.
talked about semaglutide, and I said, "Well, let me do some research. Let me just see." I was like, "I'm not." And then the next thing they said was, "It's an injection." I said, "Oh no, no, I don't do shots. I just do not. I am not a flu shot person. I just don't do them at all. I am literally terrified." And so when they talked about that, I was just like, "Nope." But then when I got home, I started looking it up because now we're a little bit intrigued. Like we're trying to figure. I'm like, okay, I'm already going to the weight loss clinic, and so maybe this is the newest thing. That's what we always
Yeah.
want. We want the newest and greatest. And so when I did that, I did the research. I looked it up because I'm always a firm believer in making sure that you know what you're gonna take. Like what is this, and
Mm-hmm.
how do you think maybe it's gonna work, maybe it's not. And so at that time I had probably lost maybe like 10 pounds in that time. And so that's why I always lump it all together, because this I feel like my journey did not really start until like I got the meds and I got it in my system. And so when I went back for my next B12 injection, I said, hey, I know y'all were talking about this last time. I'm ready. Like, I think that this is going to, it's going to be good for me and my body. And so then that on that day, that's when I started. They gave me both of them, and I was like, all right, here we go. And the next thing they said was, do you want to take it home? I, to do what? Like, to do what? Like, no, I can't do it. It's not in me. It's not in me to do it. And so I was literally like, as I looked around, everybody was kind of going in there just for their appointments, and then they're just taking
Mm-hmm.
their meds home. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So every month I went in there, and I was on it for literally about 3 months going there. But
Every
that's
week.
what did it for me. That's what did it.
Wow. So you came in once a week for them to give you your shot?
Yes, I did. Like clockwork.
Yeah.
Like clockwork. And my husband, he in the beginning too, I was kind of in a space of I was just telling him I was still going for the B12. Like that was it. I was still nervous. I was still
Yeah.
nervous to even talk about it. I was still nervous to because I didn't know, during that time too, like as I kept hearing about things, it was everything was negative. Everything was negative. And I was like, even in that first month, it was starting to change my life. It literally was. And I was like, I wish more people kind of knew about this and there wasn't so much backlash. But I was like, oh no, I'll just keep it a little secret.
Yeah, it's like if somebody has something negative to say, it's like I'm a lot less likely to share that information.
Yep.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's just
Mm-hmm.
judgment wrapped around it. But I guess I was in the same boat as you, where I was going to the clinic locally for a while, and then I just couldn't keep paying what they were charging. I mean, it was a lot.
Girl. Now that's a whole nother story right there because that is why I stopped. And that's when I tried to go and think about my insurance. And during that time too, like during that third month, because during that time, like they kept just going up and up. Like they just would not they were like, oh, okay, you just need to go up every 4 months. And I'm like, or 4 weeks. And I said, okay, well, I guess, if the clinician says so, maybe that's just, I mean, you're the professional. I'm not. And so just thinking about that and and as I looked at the chart that they had over there, it no longer fit my pocket. It did not.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
no longer did. And so that's when I got on TikTok as well because my sister said, you should tell your story. And I'm like, I know nothing about TikTok. She was always on TikTok, always scrolling and doing things. But me, I just wasn't. And so when she said that, that's kind of what got me on TikTok. That's what brought me there. And so during that third month, going to the weight loss clinic, that's when I found TikTok. And I found the community of people that were, there wasn't a lot of negativity. There was some, but
Mhm.
around me and my page, there was not any negativity. It was all positive. And so that's what made me think about trying my insurance. So that's when I switched over from semaglutide to Monjaro.
Okay, so your insurance worked with you, and they've been working with you so far.
Yes. So, and I say so far, yes, my insurance has been great. I am very thankful, and it's been good up until like the shortage, because like during the
Yeah,
times of the shortage, it was tough. It really was. It was kind of like one of those times where you just didn't know what tomorrow was going to bring. You didn't.
yeah,
And I'm one. I was not going to miss a dose. And so that's really what brought me to Fridays. Like I had started hearing things about Fridays, and I was like, okay, maybe I might need y'all one day. That's just
right.
what it was because my insurance was covering it. It was covering
Mhm.
my copay was $25. I was so thankful for that. And so um it came to a point of now I couldn't find my dose. And when you can't find your dose, now you're scared. Now you're scared because I
Mhm.
didn't want to miss a dose. I knew that during that time, I mean, because I had probably been on it then for from June to about March. That's when I had to. That's when it actually hit me because people kind of started talking about it really in February, and they were kind of like, "I haven't been able to find my dose," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm still good. Like I'm able.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's getting a little bit longer. Maybe it was 4 days, and then it became like a week, and I was kind of
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's right on time, but it's here." And so after
Mhm.
that, it was kind of like I can't find it, and I had gotten down to literally two pens, and I kept saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be okay. I will be
Mhm.
fine." And then I kept looking at those two pens week after week, and I was like, it got down to like one, and I was like, "Oh, there's no way. I've got to do something now." Like there. Look, not missing a dose. You got to you got to do something, and so that's when it finally hit my house that the shortage is real, and if you don't do something else, you're going to miss a dose.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I was like, I've got to figure out a different source for this. So I guess I started like with regular branded, and then I went to compounded
Mm,
semaglutide, and there is no difference. I don't
there's
think.
not.
I
There is
mean,
not. No. And the wild thing though, so I have irritable bowel syndrome on the constipation side. And for me, like when I was on semaglutide for those 3 months, I didn't have any constipation. When I switched to Monjaro, it was like, well, hold up. Everything, it was like, stop the press. because you thought you
Mm-hmm.
were good, you thought you were doing things, and then it was like I was in for a rude awakening, and that was the tough part for me. I was like, I'd rather go back to semaglutide. It was tough
Yeah.
until I found my balance again, and it was kind of like when I first really got diagnosed with IBS, and I had to figure out like all of my different meds and what was that going to be like and what it looked like,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just it. So it was tough at first though. It was very tough.
Yeah, I guess like have you measured or did blood work and A1C and stuff since the beginning of your weight loss to like now?
So I have not done any lately. I do need to. That was actually something when I went to my OBGYN not too long ago, and I told her, I said, because one, I told her I don't go to my primary care doctor any longer, because he was the one that said when I first went to him and said, hey, I feel like I need some additional help. And all he said was, are you a runner? And I was like,
Um,
well, it's a slow jog, but it depends on how you look at it. Okay. It's running to me. It's running.
yeah,
And that's pretty much all he said. And I haven't not been back. I have
yeah,
not been back at
no,
all. And so she was just saying, like, did you get your blood work done from your primary care? I said, no, you are. You're everything. You're everything. So she was saying that we need to do some additional blood work too, because she's the one who actually did my blood work in the beginning. So I've been getting my draw prescriptions from my OBGYN. And people always say, like, I did not think that she would do it. And I said, because my doctor takes care of my whole body.
mm-hmm.
Like literally. And so it's not just about, my womanly parts. It's
Mm-hmm.
about me. And that's what they believe in, especially at their clinic, is that they believe in taking care of the whole woman. They really do.
Yeah,
So
that's a
I
whole. I
mean, I'm
mean,
like, why not? Why not
yeah,
ask them?
it's a whole body issue with your weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is all tied into being a woman and having these hormonal problems. Because I know,
Yes.
like everything I've done has been like it feels like it's twice as hard. The harder I try, the worse it got. So,
Yes.
I mean, OBGYNs, they have a medical license. They're a doctor
Mm-hmm.
just like anybody else. So
I
if you
know.
just find the
People are
one that
just
works.
completely shocked when I tell them. And I'm just like, but think about like, and I don't have PCOS, but I'm like, think about women that have PCOS. Like, that is hormonal. So
Mhm.
it's wild. Like we have to look at everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the boat where I just like if I find a good doctor, I'm riding with them till they kick me out or they don't want to they don't want to see me
Okay.
as a patient anymore. But
That's it.
with
Right until the
with
wheels fall off.
yeah, with Fridays, you can do your own doctor and then just pay, monthly to get the visit with them. I
Mm-hmm.
looked at the pricing today for Tirzepatide because I guess it's like back up for now.
Okay. We back in
Um,
there. Yes.
so it's $359 a month, but it's for all doses. So as high as you want to
Mm-hmm.
go, you can go. So
That's
I feel
it.
like that's pretty affordable considering like some of these places are charging $1,000.
That's right.
And
Look, like our weight loss clinic that we went to.
yeah,
There
I was
ain't no
getting
way.
robbed.
There's no
I
way
don't
we
know
could do
what
that.
I was doing, but
I still say that. So when I talk about it on my lives, my husband is in there and he's just like, I said, don't. That's why I stopped. That's why I stopped going there. Like, don't worry. It's okay. It's okay.
yeah,
But it
yeah,
was crazy.
I'm really happy with what I'm paying now. My insurance doesn't cover it, but hell, they don't cover anything hardly. So,
Girl,
um,
it's
two
wild.
forty nine a month. Then $229 a month if you buy 3 months, which I kind of like that because I mean I know I'm gonna be on it for
Mm-hmm.
3 months. I mean, is your plan to just stay on it? Because that's my plan.
I feel like yes. I think that I will get to a point of maybe like going to um like maybe skipping a week. I
Mhm.
think. I
Yeah,
don't know what that's gonna look like though. I really don't. I really
yeah.
don't. Because my husband, he actually just started on semaglutide last week. Last week. And so I started like when he started on his journey, I was kind of like thinking back on the beginning of my journey. And I was like, well, in the beginning, I literally thought that I would just take this for a few months
Hmm.
and, just to kind of get my mind right. We always think like, oh, I got to get myself together and I'm getting my
Hmm.
mind right. And now I see it as like, this is a part of my lifestyle. It's a part of my lifestyle. I think about my uncle that's on like blood pressure meds. Like if he goes off of his meds, I can tell because I'm like his doctor. When I go to his doctor's appointment, he's like, "Have you been taking your meds?" And he'll say no, because they already know.
Mm.
And that's it. So it is something that is a part of our lifestyle. And it's probably going to be a part of my lifestyle for many years.
Yeah, yeah. I'm at the point where like sometimes I'll go 10 days in between doses and just
Really?
yeah, instead of a week. And so as long as I'm like still not gaining, I'll kind of try to stretch it sometimes.
Mm,
It just depends on honestly, just kind of depends on how I'm feeling that week. If I got a lot going on, then I don't typically want to take it if I'm like having dinner with family or we went on a cruise, so I was like not
yeah.
fixing to be
And it's
sick.
the holidays. I mean, it's the time of traveling. It's the time of, being with family, like fellowshipping with friends and family. I just went to a Christmas party yesterday for one of
Mhm.
my boards that I'm on, and I'm like, they have all the things there. And so I feel like the meds really give us one, that opportunity to still live, and still be in a like a healthy place, a healthy caloric deficit. That's what I always say.
Yeah, and like, did your eating like habits change in terms of like what you eat, or like have you kind of changed your diet any?
I feel like I was already doing all the things. And so
Yeah,
I was already like, and when I think about my water, I was already getting my water in. I've always been an advocate of making
water
sure that I
top.
get in. Yeah, okay, my water talks. And so I am huge. That's a huge component of who I am. And so I make sure that I get that in. I focus on my protein. I make sure I'm moving my body. Like before, like during the time I was doing diet and exercise, I had a trainer and everything. I still have her. Like some of the things I've changed though, like I don't have to track as much as I used to, especially in
Mhm.
the very beginning. Now I feel like I can just weigh my protein and I can move on and I'm good. I don't have to really worry about, oh goodness, I gotta make sure I weigh everything else. I gotta get my carbs together, I gotta get my
Mhm.
vegetables together. I don't have to do that anymore and I just focus on my protein. And I usually eat like the same things. I still meal prep. That hasn't changed. So it's been the same for me. It has.
Yeah,
It was just, I mean, it was literally just like hormonal. It was
yeah.
the things that, now I still felt the food noise. I was still, and I'm still I still love sweets. My
Mhm.
husband tells me sometimes, he's like, no, you're not eating no sweets anymore. You've done so good. Now I still eat them, sir. I still eat
Yeah.
them. I
I'm
do. I
never.
still eat them. And people
I'm
are like,
never
oh no,
gonna
you changed a
not.
lot. Nope. Uh-uh.
Yeah, no, I'm never gonna not. I'm not interested in that life.
Yes, girl. Look, between me and like sweets and Mexican food, no. That's what I told my husband because he started to like his food taste. I don't know if you had that happen to you. Like the
Mhm.
food kind of started tasting different. I've only had it happen to one thing, and that was my mango margaritas at the Mexican restaurant. That was the only thing. And I told him in the very beginning, I said, if my salsa ever starts to taste weird, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a major problem. And thank the
Yeah.
Lord it hasn't. I'm so glad.
Well, in the beginning for me, I had a little bit of like food aversion where I didn't want to eat
Mm,
like meat and stuff for some reason was just repulsive to me.
really?
Yeah, so weird, but now I can eat a steak. It's fine.
Yeah.
I haven't really noticed anything lately, and I don't have that. I'll get nausea every once in a blue moon, but
Mm-hmm.
it's usually self inflicted.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I always say that, girl. And that's a tough thing to think about, is that it was like you have to kind of look within and say, well, you know what? Like, what kind of meal did I have? And when was the last time I had a meal? I have that. Like, I've had it probably happen to me one time. And I was like, oh, I'm starting to get a headache. Like, oh, well, what's going on here? And I'm like, well, when's the last time I ate something? And when
hmm,
I thought about that, I was like, I know I didn't. I know
yeah,
I did not. I didn't get
yeah,
enough water in. I didn't do anything that I quote unquote was supposed to do. But I
yeah,
haven't had like food aversion. Like I had my first like kind of spout with huge suppression with 12.5. Maybe it was probably like a month ago. And I was like, is this what y'all were talking about? Because I want no parts. I don't want any parts. Like satiety is just good for me. Being in a
hmm,
space of that I can still eat, I can still get my protein in because I try to make sure I get in enough grams of protein for my body because I do lift weights as well.
hmm.
I like if I when I couldn't do that, I was like, how do you do that? Like this is how we're supposed to be living, and if I can't get my food in, I feel like I can't focus.
Yeah, if my sugar drops, oh, I'm not fun to be around. And I'm like you said, I get a headache. I start performing really bad at whatever it is that
Mm,
I'm trying to do, and I can just tell something's off. And then I'm like, oh, I forgot to eat.
yep.
So
And
yeah,
we do get busy. I get that.
I drink these like Premier protein. I drink that almost every day, and
Nice.
it's
Look, why
just
did I just open up my Fairlife? I just
see.
literally just opened it up, and I was like, let me just take a sip because I'll start thinking, and I really love Premier. And the thing about it is, like on TikTok, like this is all they talk about. And why did I just start drinking this like not long ago? Because I love Premier. Well, now I first started with Muscle Milk though. I don't know if you ever
Oh
tried
yeah,
that one.
yeah. I like muscle milk.
Girl, muscle milk is so good. Like I used to work at GNC, and so I feel like I grew up on muscle milk. Like when I started
Hmm.
working there in college, that was just me. I
Oh yeah.
loved it, and so then I switched over to Premier, and now kind of I still have Premier in my refrigerator, but I still have these now. I've kind of dibbled and dabbled, and I said, okay, I see what people are talking about though. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is good. This is really
Yeah.
good.
I like any of them as long as they're not like chalky and just I'm not as big of a fan of protein bars, but I'll force myself to
Mm.
eat them if I'm like on the go or I'm like in the car or something. But yeah, protein's big for me. We were talking about kind of like the things that you do to like I guess like stay successful. Like you work out,
Mm-hmm.
you prioritize your protein. It seems like now you and your husband are going to be on the same page for sure,
Girl,
for
yes,
sure.
we
So
are.
that's going
And
to be interesting.
and so he's kind of like me though, because he has gone. So my husband really started around like 370 something pounds. And so now he's down to like right under or like kind of right at 300. And so it was kind of like I started. Now I didn't lose that much doing diet and exercise for sure not.
Mm-hmm.
But for him, it's like he's already been doing the things. He just needed that additional help as well. Like he didn't really understand like what food noise really was until I started talking about it. And now he's kind of like, that's what it was. When now he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have it from
Yeah.
last week. And he's like, wow, I was snacking so much. He was getting so many different things and just like he just always wanted it. He drives trucks. And so any little truck stop that he's like, oh, I'm gonna get
Oh
some fuel
yeah.
here. Now he ready to go inside and get some more snacks or get like another meal. And
Mm-hmm.
so now he sees it. And so that's really what I feel like makes people successful is one, having someone else there that's going to be able to support you. Because he supported me through it all, everything. And now we literally are on like now the path that we were kind of separate on. Now we're back on like the same path again. And it's like he understands exactly what I've kind of been talking about, what I talk about on my lives. And he's like, this is it. I'm living it. And I said, yes, you are.
Yep.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Sometimes it just takes people a little while to come around.
It really does. Yes. And the funny part is that he said, and I asked him all the time, and I'm like, because he literally called me at work one day and said, I'm ready. And I'm like, what you ready for? Like, what's going on? Like, tell me. And so he was like, I saw you in this video, and he was just like, it's real. And I said, what's real? Like, and he said, this journey that you've been on is like, it is real. And I'm like, we see each other all the time. Like, I'm not a lot, but like, because he's
Yeah.
gone during the week, but I'm like, it is real. It can happen, and I'm like, it can happen for you too. And he's like, that's why I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I said,
Well,
well, here we go.
sometimes it
Let's do it.
takes men a little bit longer to figure out figure stuff
It
out. I
does.
swear.
It does.
Um, I mean, but that's so good. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's one of those things where if you're on the same page, it's going to make day to day life easier too. So I guess I saw a thing that you had posted about mental health and stuff. So is there anything that you've like struggled with mental health? Like, has this been hard to wrap your mind around being 100 pounds lighter now than you were? Like, do you feel like a different person?
And that's a tough one to really think about because I still feel the same. Like anytime when my husband's like, "Oh my gosh, like you are skinny," and I'm like, I can't even wrap my mind around that. It's like I mean, it's kind of like a new thing, and I feel like I'm still the same. And so I'm like, I'm still the same person. He's like, yeah, but it's just a different body. It literally is.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, I was still trying to wear my same clothes. I was still like, and he was like, they're falling off. Like they're like, he's like, are
Yeah.
you going? That's what you're wearing. I'm like, yeah. Like, let's go. And it was wild. And it really took me a long time to kind of figure out that I'm like in a different size. I'm in a different size. I am living in a different body now. I may be the same. I'm still the same on the inside, but the outside
Mhm.
has definitely changed. And so that was kind of a like a mind block for me. I
Mhm.
can't really say that it was like body dysmorphia though, but I
Yeah.
guess it was a different type of stage for it. Because I know a lot of people say that like there are different stages of body dysmorphia, and maybe that was just it because I clearly could not see what was there. But now when I look in the mirror and I'm like, I'm glad I started getting some of the clothes. I'm glad
Yeah.
because the
My
clothes that I was wearing were literally falling off. And I always said, and I was always kind of funny of saying that, you know what, like I'm not gonna get new clothes until all my clothes fall off. And so when they started to literally kind of start falling off, and I still want to keep them on, and I'm like, okay, I've got to do something different. And that was just kind of the mind thing for me to do that. Yeah, just getting over that you're here, like you
mhm.
made it. Now, am I done? No, I'm not done. But I try to celebrate everything. Everything is like a milestone for me. Now, people will always say, Tiffany, you just love being outside. And I do. I love it. I love to celebrate things. I love birthdays. I love just being around people. I love fellowship. I love talking. I guess that's why I am a learning specialist. But I love it. And that's just it. I love being around people. I just enjoy it. And so
Yeah.
now I feel like I feel like it's maybe gone up a little bit, like from where I was from before. Like maybe my personality is like, all right, so we own in this now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's literally what it is.
I feel so much more like it's not confident like my appearance, but confident like within, like
Mm,
more sure of myself.
that's
That's
it.
that's
That's a
that's
strong thing too. It really is.
yeah. Because I'm like now I match what I was. Like I feel like
Mm,
everything matches up. So,
most
but
definitely. I love
I
it.
mean, I see like you do a lot of TikTok lives.
I
Yeah.
do. I enjoy talking. That's just it. And I just love talking and trying to help somebody else because even when you kind of started talking about like nausea, that's a huge thing, especially with people now that are just coming in and they're just now taking their first shot. Like they are scared to even go in, like they have it. One, it could
Mhm.
be in their refrigerator. One, it could be at the pharmacy and they're like, I'm just too scared to go get it. And I'm like, it's okay. It is okay. Like
Mhm.
that is why I do my lives. That's
Yeah.
why I do it
Yeah.
because I enjoy. I just enjoy helping people, and I think that I was there once too. I was scared.
Yeah. I've gone back and whenever I would go up a dose, I would also get scared again because you're like, I don't know how this is going to go. So
Yep.
until you got on that like dose that worked for you, I feel like it was
Hmm.
still building up to it. So I
That's
guess
it.
has any of your friends or family kind of like acted like how have they supported you? Have they been surprised by all of this? Have they been like, what are you doing to lose weight? Because I know that's what people ask me all the time.
Yes, and I feel like sometimes it's maybe that they think they know too. And then I think about like maybe they're I'm like sometimes they are thinking right. It is what it is. Like it's that's just it. But in the very beginning, I was still very nervous. I was still nervous to even talk to my husband about it. I didn't tell anybody. I did not tell anybody. Now I will say that I saw some people that I knew at the weight loss clinic, and I was like, okay, so I can connect with somebody. Like I'm like, okay, let me, like I'm over here trying to hide in the corner but
Yeah.
then I felt comfortable because I'm like, hey, we're all on the same journey. We are all in this together.
Yeah.
And I feel like that happens to a lot of people too. They get so nervous about it. And there are people out there who are just as nervous and they're just as scared and they are hiding in the bushes too. They're hiding in these waiting rooms and they're just like, I'm nervous. I don't want anybody to see me that I know. But we have to think that we're all doing it. Why do you think they're coming here? Why do you think
Mhm.
they're coming here? They're trying to do the same thing. But my husband has been supportive. Since I told him, I was like, and I still remember how I did it. I was like, hey, I just want you to know, I've been going to this weight loss clinic and I am going in there for my B12, but there's this newer thing that I'm doing now too because he really started seeing a difference. And he was like, is that just the B12? And I'm like, mm-hmm. To some extent, yes. And so that's what I was literally telling my friends. And I see them now and I'm just like, I'm sorry, y'all, but I just wasn't ready. And I'm
Yeah.
glad
Yeah.
that they, were like, okay, it's okay. It's okay because you don't have
Mhm.
to tell us your whole life like that. You do not
No, no, it's
until
for
you're ready.
medical. It's your medical
Yeah, like we
information.
just go around telling, well, what's happened at the doctor today? Like what you do, like what you get, like they put you. We don't have to talk about that to still be friends. We do not.
Yeah.
But now I feel more comfortable telling them because I'm like, you know what? That's the reason they're my friends. That's the
Yeah.
reason I have friends like these are. That's the family that you choose. It
Yeah.
is.
My friends are gold to me.
I'm telling you. And you know that you have people like that. And I felt like I just, in the back of my mind, I thought that they would judge me, but I really knew that they wouldn't, but I just still wasn't ready. I just
Yeah.
was not ready. Now, my
Plus you get
family, it took me even longer to even tell my mom and my sister. I did not. I told my sister first because she was like the reason I got on TikTok. And
mhm.
so she pretty much knew. And then like she started sharing it with my mom and they were like, "Oh, is that what you're doing?" And so, but they
Mhm.
were really supportive. That not one time have I had anybody literally that is in like my inner circle to say anything negative to me.
Yeah. And I mean, they really shouldn't. I think most people have just been surprised to see a
Mm.
different version of me.
Yep, that's it.
But
A different version.
like you said, like everybody's doing it because everybody needs it. Like it was like 1 in 3 people in America are like overweight or
Okay.
obese. So I mean, it's not like it's a small issue. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
very permeates through the whole entire world, especially in the South. I feel like, oof. I mean, we just eat.
Exactly. We just eat. We eat and eat. We celebrate again. We eat some more. We gotta, celebrate something else. Then we gotta eat some more. And then, yeah, that's what we
Yeah,
do. That's what we do to celebrate each other and
yeah.
to celebrate literally anything. We
That's
just
my
celebrate with food.
that's culture for us. But my mom brought me chicken salad sandwich for lunch today. She's like, I'm going
Mm.
by Trowbridge's. It's like a little diner. I was like, she's like, do you want something? I'm like, well, of course I
That's
do.
right.
Like,
Hello. You know I do. Okay.
yeah. But me and my mom and my grandma sat down and ate lunch, and I'm just like, this. I'm not willing to give that up. Like that's. I'm
Girl,
not trying
no.
to feel bad about that.
I refuse. I refuse. And then like so my mom, like she'll make comments sometimes and she'll be like we'll go out to eat and she'll be like, oh, that's what you're getting? Yeah. What you getting? Oh, I'm getting this. Okay, well that's you.
Mm-hmm.
Not me. It's not me. Because people literally have in their head sometimes that we do not eat.
Yeah, or that we shouldn't, or we'll get sick, or that we shouldn't be allowed.
Yes. Oh, if I ate that, like I would just be, you're not me. You're
Yeah,
not me. Like
and
I don't like. That's why I don't usually do like what I eat in a day. And I say because y'all aren't ready. That's what it is. Because
yeah,
you still have an issue with food, and
judgment.
that's not my problem. I don't
Yeah,
have that issue. I enjoy food for what it is because it is nourishment of my body. I have learned how to realize that you know what I'm full, and that's taking me time. That's
mhm.
because I worked it on. I worked on it myself, and I always say people have to work on it at their own speed.
Yeah. I've definitely got to the point where I'm like, I've made those like what I eat in a day on Ozempic videos, and the comments are just like, I can't believe you eat this. I can't believe you eat like that. That's
Hmm.
horrible. That's all processed food. That's
I
all
know,
this or that. And I'm just like,
girl.
I don't even know what to tell you because I mean, you can't
There's
eat
nothing.
on one way and then it's not sustainable, and so you just go back to the way that you were eating before. Like,
That's it. I
doesn't
tell
work.
people how you get there is how you have to stay there. And I told somebody that on my live this morning, and I said, you know what? I said, you're probably going to delete this and you're going to take it off and you're going to stop watching this live and everything. But I said, the thing about it is like, if you, because people get like, they start thinking that this is a great thing to not get in food. And I'm just like, and I said, like, what would make you happy about that? Like, what makes you excited about not being able to eat? Like, is that really enjoying your journey that now you have some food in front of you, but you just cannot eat it? Now, I'm saying now, don't get me wrong. There gonna be times where I get that way sometimes too, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm just done. Like, I'm not hungry right now, but I'm gonna still come back and eat. I'm not going to go a whole day. I'm not going to go, multiple times or multiple hours because I know what can happen. I know I can get a headache. I can know that here comes the nausea. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to make a way. And just to think like I'm not chasing suppression. I'm not. I'm not. And people are like, oh no, that's what you're supposed to have. You could. I just don't. That's me and my body. My body does not have that type of like excessive suppression. Because I
Yeah,
believe I do have some type of suppression, but it was nothing like what I had from that last time. That is, I'm like, if this is what suppression is, no, no. Because how I get there is how I have to stay there. And like I told that lady, I said, if you're not eating now, I say when you get to your goal, you better not eat anymore. That was like that was the best way for me to put it because, and I was
Yeah.
like, Lord, please don't, please do not like, because I said I've been blocked so many times. I've been, like people report me, and all of a sudden it's just off, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but that's just it. Like, that's the reason why we say it. I'm like, yeah, how you get there now is how you have to stay there. So don't try to just, when you get there now, try to eat in, like normal. Like, don't try to, oh, I need to, I can just go have a hamburger now when you ain't had a hamburger in a year. Like, it may not, like, now you might get sick. Like, now you might. And then you're going to be like, oh, the meds made me sick. No, that wasn't it.
Yeah. I really like I've gotten to the point where I've had those experiences where I'm like, I can't eat at this place anymore. Just this is just not a good place for me. This is not, or I've changed my fast food orders at certain places where I was like I would go to Wendy's and get the Dave's double. I want it double stacked and my fries and my large Coke Zero. And now I've moved on to the junior bacon cheeseburger.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I'm still going to eat a cheeseburger. It's just not as much.
Girl,
so
they don't care. It's like people do not even care. They're like, don't you even go to Wendy's. Like, don't even think about Wendy's. I'm like, why? Why not? Yes, I want to try that new caramel frosty. What you talking about? What?
Yes, I'm gonna keep eating that. And like you said, you can fast and lose weight. It's not like a secret. Yeah, if you don't eat, you will lose weight. But what happens when you eat again? Like you're gonna.
That's right.
You're gonna be right back.
Do you feel like your food changed, like when you got into maintenance, or was it still the same for you? You still feel the same?
I still eat mostly the same stuff. Like I eat oatmeal for breakfast or yogurt with granola. I'll eat a bowl of cereal at night. Sometimes I'll just eat a bowl of cereal, like before I go to bed. I know that's probably a terrible habit, but it's like something in me just wants to have a little sweet treat before.
There are worse habits than that. Trust me.
Yeah, but I eat like, I'll eat frozen dinners and, processed food. I try not to eat it all the time. Like I usually cook something and eat on that for a couple of days, like leftovers. That might be meal prep, I guess. Leftovers is a different kind of meal prep.
That's right. Food you don't have to cook every day.
Yeah, and that's just, we'll make, breakfast or supper. We'll do eggs and bacon or something like that, which is just like, nothing wrong with it. It's just food. Nothing
wrong with it. It's balance. We gotta live. We still have to live. We do.
Yeah, and it seems like for you were doing that. You have the same input, but you got a different output when you got on the medicine.
That's the wild part, because I was literally doing exactly the same thing. And, a lot of people think like we were just being lazy. That's just it. Oh, you're just taking the easy way out. You didn't want to do this, or you didn't want to exercise. And I'm like, I tell people that if you don't want to talk about eating, and if you don't want to talk about exercising, then you have literally made it to the wrong side of TikTok. And don't get me wrong, there are people out there that don't have to exercise. I want to exercise. I do. I want to, because for me, I'm not going to have any type of surgery. I don't. Now, I say I don't want to, but sometimes I think about, like, I know I won't have anything with my stomach, because I feel like that is just with my husband being on the road and things like that, that would just probably be too much. It would honestly be too much for me. Now, if people want to do that, I'm all for it. Why not? Look, get snatched, okay? But for me, I'm just like, it makes me nervous. It's like the needles. Like, I can't, there's no way. I don't think I could get past that. I don't think I could. And so that's why I do the things I do. That's why I make sure that I exercise. I've always been doing that. I've always been adamant about weightlifting. I know that's what we need. We have to do, especially as women. Like we have to do that. Like we have to think about our bone density, and that's a real thing. That is a real thing. And that's a lot of times that the things that we don't want to talk about, because we're focusing and we're just so like literally laser focused on chasing a number, but not the number about our A1C, not about our cholesterol number, not about our blood pressure. We're thinking about the literally scale. The number on the scale. That's it. I call him Bruno. And when I bought Bruno to give me a number. That was it. And he does that job. That's what he does. Now, do I always like the number? No. But I'm not chasing one either. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm with you. My body changed a lot between like the last 10 pounds. And I'm like, the body was totally different, but like, just, I don't know. It's like those other 30 pounds I didn't feel as different, but then the 10 more pounds I felt like totally different. So I don't think the weight is really all of the picture. And like with working out, I've also tried to be like prioritizing like weight loss, but also weightlifting, because if you lose all that weight, you lose muscle, and like muscle is what helps you not age as quickly. And
yeah, I know.
you know,
That's
I
right.
see, you can see people, I go to the YMCA and I'll see like these people who are like 85, 90, and they're in there like pushing, like working
Girl,
out.
yes.
And I'm like, that's why you're still here.
That's
Like,
why you still here. That's a
so,
real thing. It really is. And I feel like we don't talk about it that as much, and we really should. We should. It's a whole body experience. It really is.
yeah. And my grandma, she can't hardly get out of the car, and she's like 72. And I'm like, it's because you don't do nothing. Me and my mom make
Girl,
fun of her.
look, I'm telling you, yes. I have some family members that are like that too, and I'm just like, I mean, it's the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Like it's a real thing. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. And I think what you do every day is who you are ultimately. If you do it day in and day out,
Right.
like, then that's who you are. It's not about who you want to be.
It's all
Like,
about who you want to be. It's
yeah,
changing literally your mind. Changing your mind will change your life.
for sure. Do you read a lot of books or anything like that?
I try to get in like some books. I know my trainer wrote a book. I will sometimes read on occasion, but sometimes I'm like when I get in the bed, I'm like I'm gone.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
done. I am
Yeah.
done because I like to go to bed early so that I can get up early too. And that's literally the only time I can really too kind of talk to my husband and kind of get into a mindset of like what's the next day gonna entail too. Now
Yeah.
I do try to make sure I read my Bible as well, and I try to get in the word. But outside of that, not so much.
Do
Do you
y'all
read a
just
lot?
I read in the morning, but that's kind of like my little meditation ritual, like just having some quiet time, just that time off of my phone and my computer, because I'm like
Yes.
on it all day.
That's it. All
Um,
day, girl.
does your husband do like runs for overnight, or is he gone sometimes?
He is over the road. And so right now he is actually in he left Michigan yesterday. And so now he's on his way to Wisconsin. So he leaves usually on like Sunday or Monday, and then he'll come back the following. So not that week, but the following like Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah,
So
that's
he
a
used to
good.
come home every weekend, but now he comes home kind of like every other week.
Yeah, well, that's a stark contrast because my boyfriend and I both work from home, and it's a lot of together time.
Yeah. Good. My husband been talking about he's trying to come off the road, and I'm like, okay. What? I mean, since we've been together, he's always been a truck driver. Like, it's not like it's something that he just started. And so, yeah, he was like, then we're gonna be together all the time. That's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we had a solution of him doing we built one of those like tough shed offices. And so he's got his outdoor office, and I have my office in the house, and so we don't have to hear each other all day.
Yeah. Anytime my husband's at home, because I am a learning specialist too, so we teach from home. So I teach at a bank, and like it can get wild. And so he'll go outside. He'll be like, "I need to wash my truck." Look, she's teaching me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just animated. That's just who I am. It's in my blood. And so whenever I'm teaching, like I want people to stay engaged, and that's how you keep them. Like that's what I believe.
Yeah, you can't learn from a dull teacher. You'll go to sleep.
Yep. I know. I always say that. Like you literally like if I was in the same room with any of my like participants, it would be like I'm gonna have to be on 100. So let alone if I am now on a screen, I've got to be on 150. Like ever since I started that, I've always been that. I'm a believer in you got to be somewhat over the top because you don't know what is going on over there. Like something is going to catch their attention if you're not.
Yeah, I mean, I can't the attention span of people is so like short now, so you really have to like keep grabbing people. I've learned, like, I didn't know how to make TikToks. I was making like long form content like on YouTube, and there might be like a 15-minute video, and on TikTok I'm like, what do you mean I have to have a hook within the first 2 seconds? Like,
Oh yeah,
I'm
girl.
just, I
I'm
don't know.
still trying to get used to it, and then maybe it's gonna be gone tomorrow. So I'm learning from you.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm like, I'm posting my shorts to YouTube too, because I'm like, well, I already made the content. Let me just
Yep.
post to YouTube. So you could cross post your TikToks to YouTube.
I'm trying to get better. I probably have now maybe like 6 videos over here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better. It's getting there. It's
Do
getting there.
you
Now
what do you edit in TikTok or in CapCut?
I edit in CapCut. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
then you're
Yep.
solid. You could just cross post them without
I
having.
know. I'm trying to get better at that to see and just like I have all the information. I'm like, it's right there. So just do it. So I'm
Yeah.
trying. Look, I just gotta
Yeah.
do it. And that's kind of like with me. I don't know if you well, I do know you because I follow you on Instagram too. So that's another thing too. Like sometimes I feel like Instagram is one of those like short and long. Like I feel like it's kind of a cross between like TikTok and YouTube, really, but maybe
Hmm.
not as long, of course. But I feel like I'm just trying to figure that out too. So
Yeah. I don't think I can do all of them well. I guess
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. You just have to do one well, and then now I'm like TikTok, could be going away, or possibly in January, and I'm like,
heaven
I
help
feel like
me.
I'm just now getting that under my belt, really.
Yeah, I struggle with that because I'm like, how much effort do you put into it, not knowing if it's
Yep,
gonna be there?
that's
But
right.
I guess make hay while the sun shines.
That's it. That's what I'm trying to do for
Yeah,
sure.
but I'm just kind of like, I'm thankful to have you on here because like you give this like energy, like you said, and it's really nice to be around. And I
Thank
guess
you.
I wanna kind of wrap up by asking you, like, you've hit a major milestone today, this week, and I don't think, if I were you, I'd be like, I'm done, this is it, I'm good. But like, what do you want 2025 to look like, aside from weight? Like, just like, what do you envision like that's going to happen for you?
I have like, and it's so wild because I think about 2025 and I'm just like, and this is a huge milestone. One, I didn't even know when I would get there. I did not. I didn't have a like, I want to get there in 1 year or I want to get there, in just a few months or something. And I'm like, I just got to get there. So I didn't even know when this would come. I didn't even like, I was planning, like, when you look, they always say when you got a plan, look, the Lord has something else planned. Because I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, my 2 years gonna be in November. I was right there on the cuff. I was like, I was only about point 0.7 away from being down, um, you know, 100. And it just did not happen. Thanksgiving came, and then I was like, now it's December the 1st, and I'm like, well, here we are. Here we are. Like, what if it doesn't happen this month? What if it doesn't? So I was like, you know what? I don't even know what is going to happen in 2025. But I know that one of my goals, at least for the year, because I feel like I'm in the turtle crew. Have you ever heard us? If you've seen it on our lives, sometimes we talk about the turtle crew, and we are the crew of, the respond. Like we're not hyper responders. We're
Hmm.
not those responders that say, we can lose like 3 and 4 pounds a week. That does not happen for us. It does not. And so, like we have that crew, and we try to make sure that people know that people are out there. Like some things that you see, there are other people out there that are not losing that, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And so for 2025, I want to be at least, I want to lose at least another 40 pounds. That's it.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I say that's it, because I really don't know even what, like, I feel like I have another number in my head of like between 175 and 185, but I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what it feels like. And I literally don't even know when I say physically look like, as well as physically seeing it on the scale. Like I've
Hmm.
never seen someone say, okay, let me get on the scale, or say myself say, oh, I'm going to get on the scale. Let me see how much I weigh today. And it be 175 or anywhere between like 180. And so that is going to be one of those things that is, that's going to be huge for me. It's going to be huge. And that is definitely a goal for me. Now, if it doesn't happen in 2025, that's okay too. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm prepared for that because I know now, like I have a hold of my mind. My mind is so much better.
Yeah.
Also in 2025, I do want to possibly do a career change. I have always wanted to be in like corporate communications and do events. And that is my that's like my passion, you know,
I could
being in the
see that.
community as well. Like that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like I have always like my ultimate dream, like if I think about like my ultimate dream, like I have always wanted to be a commentator and like call like sports events, like more so around football or basketball.
Hmm.
And that's just what I want to do. And you know, do I think that it might happen? It might. It might
Yeah.
one day.
Well,
But always trying to figure out like how can I possibly like make it happen one day.
yeah, the ambition to kind of climb from one to the next is so powerful because some people think, well, that could never happen. But like, if you don't think it will happen, then it won't happen.
That's it.
You know, your mind just goes to work trying to make it happen if you want
That's
it
right.
to. And I could definitely see like how being on TikTok live would make you like a good speaker because then you're like you're on it. You know what I mean? Like that's your prep. That's your prep work. You've been laying the
Thank
groundwork this whole
you.
time. Just
I appreciate that. I love it. I really enjoy it. And that's just, I mean, I feel like those are my main goals, just to kind of put myself, even if it's not like I don't get another job or I don't get to
mhm,
you know, take that next step or that leap. I
mhm,
at least want to start to position myself there. That's what I want to do. So I'm
yeah,
excited about just those two. Like I don't, I'm a believer in like eating an elephant one bite at a time. I don't
mhm.
try to make things look and feel so big because sometimes that can make us feel overwhelmed. And I never want to feel that way.
Yeah, I don't want to feel like I'm not enough at the end of the day with whatever I did that day. Like
Most definitely.
I know I'm
Because we
trying
are
my
enough.
best.
We
Yeah.
are enough and we are doing our best. That's it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to move in 2025, so it's
Are
like
you? Where do you want
yes.
to move to if you don't mind me asking?
No,
Like
you're
another
good.
state or are you just trying to move like within
We are
your
trying
state?
to move to like the end of South Alabama, like Mobile or Gulf Shores or
Really?
more towards the beach, yeah.
Okay.
Cuz that's what I want to do. I want to be by the water and like do that kind of stuff. Just like every time we go down there, I'm like, I need to live here. I don't want to
Yeah.
live where I live. I need to live here. Like something in
Nice.
my body's like, this is where you need to be.
I
So
love that.
we started talking to a realtor this past week.
Do it,
So
girl. No, look, there's no time like the present.
I'm
Why not?
scared.
Why
Yeah,
not? It's
yeah. It's
always the
just
things that we want to do sometimes the most that, I mean, I feel like there could be anything that scares us, but we
yeah,
never know what tomorrow's going to bring too.
yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, well, it ain't the end of the world if you don't like it. You can just move back. Like it's
Move
not like
back. That's
it's
it.
not like it's not going to be here. But I
That's
guess
right.
kind of wrapping up, I just want to tell everybody that we are having our discount codes in the links. Get your $20 off. Use code TIFF or code Bella. And they're doing the special right now where if you buy 3 months, you get like another $20 off per month. So you basically get
That's
20,
right.
40, 60, $80 off of
Hmm.
3 months. So
That's it.
that's a
We
deal.
always think about your pocket, okay? We are thinking about your pocket. You got to. That's
Absolutely.
right.
You got to save that money. And
That's
I
it.
mean, you will save money just by not eating because I don't eat as much food
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah, we definitely don't. And I told my husband that, like, so he's been like one not going in the truck stop for all those snacks. Okay. He is not. I'm like, think about the money that you're saving now. You don't even have to go in the truck stop anymore. The temptation's not even there to even go in there. And he's already saving money off of that.
Yeah, you don't have to buy the chips that are 3 times the price as they are at any other store. Those places are
Girl,
so
anytime he's going to Subway or something like that, like a chain, he's just like, this is ridiculous. If I was buying this at home, it would be different. I said, I know. But they know that y'all want it. They know
yeah.
that the truckers gotta eat. Like he has it where like he has a lot of things like set up in his truck now, like an air fryer and things like that.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm.
they know that they're coming in there to get all that stuff.
My dog's deciding to bark, so I guess he's telling
Look,
me I need to get off
girl,
the.
mine. He just. I think he did eat his food though. Eventually, he did eat his food, so now he's asleep. But I totally understand. Whenever
Yeah,
I'm on calls and things, that's when mine wants to like. He wants to figure out what's going on. What's
I
going
know.
on?
I'm like, you've been quiet all day, but now you're gonna be doing this. So
That's what they
yeah,
do, girl.
it's like having a kid or something. It's
It
just like
it is like having a kid. It
I
is,
got.
and we don't have any kids at home, and I'm just like, girl, that is. I took him to the vet today and I had to give him like one of his little anxiety medicines. And so I was like, Lord, I told him when I got there, because they gave us like one just to try. And I told him, I said, y'all, I don't know what this is, but when I tell y'all, I didn't think anything was going to be able to tame him. And this is a godsend. It really
Yeah.
is.
Well, that's good. Maybe he'll level out a little bit.
I hope so. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord, because it's been a good day. It's very different. It's very different, but he is on
Yeah.
another level for sure.
Well, we got 3 dogs, so
Really?
we're at
Oh, girl, I can't
capacity.
take no more. Mm-mm.
It didn't happen on purpose, I guess.
Oh,
I think it just kind of slowly happened, but I mean, I'm really thankful. I think we're both in a good place, and that's all you can really ask for. Like,
girl, that's it. That is
um,
definitely it. How long have you been in like the maintenance area? Because sometimes people like love maintenance or like
yeah,
love the word maintenance. Other times it's kind of like, oh, I don't really call it maintenance. So how do you feel in
yeah.
the space you're in?
I feel like right now I'm kind of in like a slow loser kind of vibe. Like, I will lose 1 or 2 pounds, but I've only been weighing myself about once or twice a month,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just not worried about it. Like, it's been going down like little by little, and I'm like, but before I would gain about 10 pounds a year for about 5 years straight. And so I'm like, well, now I guess I have to lose about 10 pounds a year to get to where I want to be. And I mean, I'm happy with it as long as it's going down and it's not
Mm-hmm.
causing me any like stress. I don't have
That's
all that
right.
like the food noise is gone, the
Amen.
obsessive, compulsive need to like, what am I going to eat next? What's my next meal going to
Mm-hmm.
be? So
That's huge.
I'm good where I'm at, and I feel
Well,
like that's
good.
this
How much
medicine
further do
is.
you want to go?
I mean, I feel like when I was like 145. I'm 5 foot tall, so
Hmm.
if I gain 10 pounds, it's like all goes in my face. And so I feel like I'm 147 now, and when I was 145, when I was like 21, and I thought I was
Mm-hmm.
huge. I was like, and now I'm like, I
There's
would eat
always that time. We're
anything.
like, oh no. Mm-mm. Now we're like,
Yeah,
yeah, I would just, oh, if I could just get back there. Mm-hmm.
God, I looked so good. But now I'm like, I'm cool with 140. Like, I'm cool hanging out there. I don't worry about BMI or anything like that. Like, if my clothes fit good and I feel good, that's really it for me.
That's awesome. The last number I literally remember was like 225. And so now being there, I'm like, when I see 224, I feel like, because people are like, how do you feel at 100? Like, I'm like, I feel good. Like, I've seen this number before. I've seen it. Now, everything below that, I've never seen. I've
Yeah,
never seen that before. And so
that's
it's
that's
it's
gonna
I think
be.
that's gonna be really probably where it really hits me like this is a new thing. This is a new
Mhm.
thing. And I'm not trying to go back. I'm not
Yeah,
trying to go back.
yeah. You're gonna get to a point where you don't like. You just have never been there before. Like, it's gonna be weird, but it's gonna be good. And
It's
we're,
gonna be
we're
good. That's right. It's gonna be
2025.
different and good.
I feel like this year's gone really well, and I feel like next year's gonna go well too.
I'm ready. I am
Yeah,
ready.
absolutely. Well, I guess I'm gonna wrap it up. Is there anything that you want to leave on, or anything you want people to know about you? I've got all of your links in the description below.
Well, thank you. One, I just want to say thank you again for the invite and just really having me on and really your platform for what you do because your content is amazing. Look, you made me laugh, all the things, all the feels. And so I love it. It's so educational as well. This is what we need. This is what we need. So I appreciate for what you do. I just, really, I would rather like I guess I really want to leave people with, this journey is one of like it's so easy to try to compare everybody. It's so easy to do that. It's so easy to continue to look to the left and the right and the front and the
Mhm.
back and see and say, you know what? I wish I was there. Or I wish I was there. And I always say to people, just enjoy the journey. Enjoy your lane because it's the best lane. Enjoy it. And that's what I always like to lead with people is just that, like, enjoy your lane because I'm telling you, everybody else's lane, we don't really know what's going on in that lane. We don't. So enjoy your lane. Continue doing all the things. Continue drinking your water, okay, and minding our business.
Yeah, absolutely. And just keep rolling with it, and you'll get where you want to be.
That's it.
All
That's
right. Well,
it.
thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate your perspective, and I
Thank
think that
you.
everybody watching will get something out of this one.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.